Stop the cap.
All right, unpopular take, but y'all gonna have to hear it. Y'all gonna learn today. Y'all gonna learn today. Who is the chick on Comedy Hype? Who's the black chick with the dreads on Comedy Hype? Who is she? Hold on. Let me take the earbuds out of my ear. Because I was just at the gym and I was finishing my last set. Shit was winding down. And I'm sitting here watching Comedy Hype, Bill Burr's wife. I was actually trying to get Cap on the phone because he really follows, Bill Burr and his wife and whatnot. Because I didn't even know who Bill Burr's wife was for a long time. I didn't know he was married to his sister for, a long time. And so obviously I've known that over the last, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 years or so or whatever. Because Bill never really brought up his wife. He never brought up his kids that he has with his wife. You know what I mean? And then, he did the Saturday Night Live special and all that. And, talked about the white women in their Gucci booted foot, like lifting it over the fence when it came to, racial discrimination, shit that's supposed to be about black people. And a lot of white women, didn't care for that. And there's a lot of white people that, they dig it Bill Burr because he is married to a black woman. I mean, they constantly dig in on Bill Burr's wife's looks. You know what I mean? I remember there was a post of a guy talking about, when black guys get with white women, they get the hot ones. And when white guys get with black women, they don't get the hot ones, right? Which is the opposite of obviously what, sisters will say and obviously what, racists will say. It just depends on who's talking, right? I don't even give, much weight to that, right? But they've been ragging on Bill Burr's wife. And Bill Burr, to me, is like a middle of the, he plays devil's advocate. He's kind of like a middle of the road. He doesn't take either side. It just depends on what you're talking about. Bill Burr is fairly balanced, in his approach to things. Let me take away the word fairly. He's balanced. You know what I mean? And he would be a good friend to have in terms to like talk about shit and like how do white people view this and okay, well explain, looking at this and examining that, because he tries to look at it from both sides as a white guy, which is what makes his comedy, funny. Like the way he analyzed the way that how black people put the curse word in front of what did he say? He said something about I think it was black people put black people put the curse word behind the racial identifier, right? So black people be like, man, I was over here, man, and this Asian motherfucker, blah 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 blah, right? And it's like you don't even hear it. But then when it comes to white guys fuck up because they'll be like, yeah, and this fucking Asian guy, and it just comes off differently, comes off as racist. And I'm saying, that was like a key observation that most people overlook, but it was just like, what, even I never even thought about that. Yeah, we do. We like, yeah, this Asian motherfucker, man, this Spanish motherfucker, man, you know what I mean? This white motherfucker, like that's how we say it as black people, and it doesn't come off as racist. But for him to break it down, that actually we do say it differently, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Bill Burr looks at shit, devil's advocate, all that, right? And so it's funny, it's entertainment. It's entertaining. His takes on women, entertaining. Talking about complex societal issues. Entertaining. Just again playing the devil's advocate, entertaining, right? So I would argue that Bill Burr has a lot of universal appeal, but in this polarized country, in this polarized electoral society, right, there's a lot of white folks that do take issue with the fact that Bill Burr's wife is a black woman, right? They're questioning his loyalty. Where does his loyalties lie? They're trying to put him, some people are trying to put him in this super ultra liberal woke box, which Bill Burr is not in. He's a middle of the roader. But him being with a black woman, him having biracial kids, has opened his eyes to racism and white supremacy, and what this nation really is and what it was founded on, and how that's going to affect not only his wife but also his kids. Okay? And so I just described and explained what I see from Bill Burr. That's what I see. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I see. But I'm watching Comedy Hype, and they're talking about Bill Burr's wife at the UFC fight, and Donald Trump is there. And when Donald Trump walked by, she flips up the middle finger at Donald Trump. And apparently the white people, they went crazy, right? It's going, you already know the type of comments that are going to come. It's going to be a racial thing and all that, right? Even though, and that's the funny part, because there's a lot of fucking white suburban women that don't like Donald Trump and don't like conservatives, right? I mean, recently with the midterm elections, a lot of conservatives got their asses handed to them. Okay? There's a lot of white women that don't like Donald Trump because they see him as a sexist, misogynistic. They see him as a womanizer. Then you have the whole aspect of, the idea that conservatives are trying to take away women's control of their body. You know what I mean? But when it came to Nia giving Donald Trump the middle finger, it turns into, it's because she's a black woman, right? It turns into, she's liberal woke and all this other stuff, right? And then, they got to sprinkle on she's a hood rat. And I agree with the brother that was on the Comedy Hype about, and all of a sudden she's low class. We all seen this. We already know what time it is with white folks in that regard. Okay, same thing with Meghan Markle, and she's a level above trailer park trash or something like that. Remember that white woman said that shit, right? They all been out of shape, right? This is how these folks feel about us. Okay, no surprises there. But here's what I gotta say about it, because there's a comment going around, and Comedy Hype showed it and posted it, where nobody has confirmed, denied, or confirmed whether it's Bill Burr or not. But the comment is basically like, this is gonna fuck up my money. It's kind of said it in a jokingly fashion, you know what I mean? But it's kind of true, because they're when Bill Burr's got his wife and his black wife, and people focus on Bill Burr. But when his wife goes and does the whole freaking middle fingers up, and it shows up on the Jumbotron, and we know how polarized the country is, there's no way, in my opinion, that that's going to affect Bill Burr. Now, to some people, it's kind of like when them white people were burning Nike because Nike was supporting Colin Kaepernick. Like they haven't bought a pair of Nike shoes in 15 years, and they're like, I'm no longer supporting Nike. You got gym shoes, from when you were in college, my guy. You haven't bought a pair of Nikes in forever. You wear Rockports. Shut up, right? And so you may have white people that jump up and they're saying shit, and they don't even freaking watch or go to, Bill Burr comedy specials and whatnot. But what I want to say is, I disagree with the take of the sister and the brother on the panel about, is this about controlling black? See, this is where you get onto this liberal, goofy shit, okay? And this is where, when we get into these conversations about the gender war, and we get into conversations about the patriarchy, and we get in conversations about divestors, and we get into conversations about, interracial dating and all this stuff, and black men, passport bros, this is where black women fail. This is where black women fail. And let me say this, because there's only really one woman that I listen to online that has actually explicitly stated this, and that is Six the Goddess. I know some other women probably have said it, but Six the Goddess, she, made this point that your job as a wife is to make your husband look good. It is not to show how much of a fucking feminist you are, or how defiant you are, or what your political views are when you are on the arm of your husband, and especially a white man that invites you into a space that, real talk, generally speaking, you wouldn't be welcomed at. Okay? You know, and a lot of black women get validation when it comes to, like, if I take a black woman to the Chart House or some sort of 5-star restaurant, right? You know, it's like we're there as a black couple, but it's a white space. And even though I brought her there, the white folks that are there, they may not want, you know, black people there at the venue and whatnot. They may tolerate it if you got a whole bunch of money and you're spending a whole bunch of money and everything. But generally speaking, you know, they don't care for black people in that space. It's a little different when a white man is bringing a black woman into a white space, because now people that have a problem with the black woman have to go through that white man, right? Where if you're a black man and you're with a black woman at a white venue, right, they could attack the both of you, right? You know, just off of the strength of you being black. So the dynamic is a little bit different. But like, this is the part that gets me, and why, in my opinion, black women just end up losing and failing across the board, because y'all have a major issue with like just being the wife, or being, you know, the woman, and staying in a particular lane. Look, if you want a sassy, a mouthy, a woman in your life, hey, African American women, they're the number one women for you. If you like that type of behavior from women, which the majority of people, men on planet Earth, don't, get you an African American black woman. If you're looking for a woman to make you look good and play that role, at least in the public sphere, do not deal with African American women. Just don't do it. Don't do it, because you're going to end up with this, you know, with this situation. This is what you're going to end up with. You know, it's crazy to me. It's like this man's going against, you know, the world, in essence, you know, the white world, by choosing you, marrying you, you know, having biracial kids, right? And there's a whole bunch of white people that got something to say about it. Now, obviously, Bill Burr's like, fuck them. But at the same time, as he's saying fuck them, you should still be trying to protect your husband's image. You don't need to add fuel to the fire. You don't need to give these white folks something to jump up about and talk about how Bill's off code and all this other shit. You don't need to be doing that. Okay? All you need to do is sit there and be a lovely wife. That's what you need, a lovely, supportive wife. But it's like with black women, they can't do that. They can't do that. And again, I'm not saying, here's the funny part, right? I'm not saying that you have to. I'm not even saying that you should if you don't want to. What I'm saying is, men that are looking for that type of woman, from a cultural standpoint, African American women, or even women in the West, you know, the like black women in the West, like even like I see these women in fucking New York, you know, that are they'll be Jamaican, and they'll be like other Caribbean black, you know what I'm saying? And they'll be like, and this whole like I cringe every time I hear a black woman say, "Fuck is you talking about, dummy? Fuck is you talking?" Like I'm like, oh, that's so nasty. It's so masculine. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, I thought these women were like Caribbean or something else. Like, no, wrong. They've been raised here. They're fucked. They've been raised in black culture in America here. Boom, it's done. It's over with. If you want a woman that ain't acting like that, you're going to have to go to the island specifically to get that shit. Because the ones that grew up here, that fucking culture, it gets on them. You know what I'm saying? The stench, the funk of it, it gets on them. You know, mileage may vary, but it gets on them. You know, and it's like, God damn. You know, but I'm like, why would you, like, why? It reminds me of that fucking, the fucking Nigerian chick that I was fooling with. You know, she was, you know, immersed in African American culture, and we ordered some food, and the food, they went to the wrong place, and we were like starving. And I was like, yo, where is the food? So we called back the place. Oh, the driver couldn't figure out, you know, what apartment you were in, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And the way that the whole apartment was set up, like, you had to go, like, through, like, a side entrance. And anyway, couldn't find the spot. So she proceeds to get on the phone. I'm in the other room, and all I hear is a bunch of mouthiness. Man, I got up so fast, snatched the phone out of her hand, covered the phone, was like, yo, what the fuck is you doing? These people, what are you going to have them? You going to talk all this shit. They're going to bring our food. They could shit in our food for all you know. But I'm just going to go and give them a piece of my mind. No, the fuck you are not. And so I get on the phone, and I'm like, don't worry about her. I'm like, can you guys please bring the food back? Don't worry about it. The tip, everything, we'll take care of that. We would just like our food, you know what I mean? And then the lady on the phone was like, oh, no problem. We'll cook you up some more food, and I'll send the driver out again. Okay, boom, done. All I want to do is eat. You about to fuck all that up. And then not only that, all they're going to do is bring us back our cold-ass food and with piss and shit and saliva in it. No, thank you. Like, fuck is you doing? And see, this is what made me realize, this mentality. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how to describe it because, it's easier to just say, oh, it's African-American mentality. But I've seen other women born here that are black that have that same mentality. You can even find some other women that have that mentality. You can even find white women, Hispanic women that pick up, that sort of mentality. But again, because, their culture doesn't, like, they don't have the history of, I don't know, slavery, Jim Crow, and all of the freedoms that black women have gotten that, they completely deny and completely ignore, right? So they gotten comfortable in the idea of not needing a man, and I'm gonna speak my mind and everything else. That's the part that's so nuts. Like, it's like they, like, what pisses me off is, like, they think that, like, not only are we used to that as black men, okay, we're used to it. Doesn't mean we like it, okay, but we are used to it, okay? And what you're seeing is that when it comes to the picking time and men picking the women that they want to be with, a lot of black men are they're no longer dealing with that. They're no longer tolerating that, because y'all really do think that it's okay for you all to act like this and not make your man look good, even in white spaces. Even in white spaces, you up there giving the middle finger and all that shit. You know what I mean? It's like the man he's done everything the divestors will say a black man won't do. He done married her, Bill Burr got millions of dollars. She don't have to work. She got, everything that she wants, all this shit. It's like, all you gotta do is play the wife. It could be totally different when you get home. You could give Bill a piece of your mind, all that you want when you get home. But when you out in public, when this man has to defend, he's got to defend, himself against racist. He's got to defend your honor. He's got to defend your beauty. He's got to defend whatever negative stereotypes about black people that these other folks have. He got to defend all that. Okay? And the least that you could do is play the motherfucking role of a wife. Of a supportive wife. But nah, she can't do that shit. And there's so many black women out here that have this fucking problem. It's like god damn, there's no way to calculate how much this is going to fuck up Burr'S money. You know what I mean? How much? I mean, again, you got all type of white folks that he's got to go through, sign contracts with, go out here. I mean, again, going back to Dave Chappelle when he said, when he was trying to do the skit, and they were like, oh, well, Dave, we were wondering if we could have a woman that had a little bit more universal appeal, right? Because they didn't want a black woman. They want him to have a woman that they felt, was visually appealing enough, so, for Dave Chappelle to do the skit, right? And I'm saying, if you got a bunch of white men that are sitting behind an oath desk, despite what Bill Burr thinks, and he's different and everything else, but the system that is in place is not as liberal-minded as Bill Burr, and he's got to fight all that. You, as the black woman with a white man, you don't go out there giving them fucking reasons, giving all these white supremacist fucking reasons. And some would argue it doesn't matter whether you give them reasons or not. They're going to feel the way. And I feel you on that. I get you on that. Okay? But at the end of the day, I don't care how you want to dice it. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? Like it, I don't know. It's like sisters don't know how to be mysterious. You know what I'm saying? Do you hear white people talking about Eve? No. You know why we don't hear white people talking about Eve and Maximilian and shit? Because Eve don't say shit. We ain't seen Eve. We ain't heard of Eve in like fucking 15 fucking years. Okay? She went off, got married, had a little family, had a baby. You know what I mean? And she's over there being fucking happy, living the life. Everything the divestors say that they want to fucking do. Okay? You know, but no, some of y'all are just as fucked up on the white side as you are on the black side. You're just like even fucking Karazin and her shit. All the shit she talked over the years, only for her marriage to fall apart in fucking divorce. You know, touching grandma's figurines and shit. You know, again, all that, I mean, just can't, quote unquote, and I know black women hate this word, behave. I mean, it just makes no sense. You've won. You got a white man who's a multi-millionaire who can literally fill out stadiums of people to listen to this man tell jokes. And you can't just be the motherfucking arm candy and jewel on his arm and be supportive and be the wife and not make this man look bad to where people are now talking about him. Oh, Bill, you need to control your wife, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Now it's all about, oh, we got to show how feminist we are. You know what I'm saying? And then the response that she gave, she was like, thanks for all the love. You know, she just put out a simple tweet. That's the smart thing to do. Not snap back, not clap back. Let the shit die. The internet, will eventually, forget, and some other shit will be more important. You know what I mean? But those of us in the black manosphere, no, we're not going to forget, because this will go into the catalog of yet another example of, validating the points that black men have been making online about black women's behavior. I'm like, God damn it, man. I saw the shit and I was just like, and here's the funny part, right? Because y'all sisters, y'all jump up and you act like, I'm the enemy, I'm the bad guy, I'm not on your side. Actually, I'm on your fucking side. But you don't want to change your behavior. You don't want to fucking listen. And then you go out there and then you bitch about why you're losing. And it's colorism and it's all these other isms. And I'm like, no, it's the fact that you can't fucking sit there with your fucking legs crossed and your arms folded when the fucking camera is fucking panning past you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, God damn. Like, it's just unbelievable. Like, you can't see yourself. It's like when people at a baseball game and the camera, the Jumbotron, like, comes around and everybody can look up and see that they're on the fucking camera. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, now's the time to act a damn fool. Oh, we're on camera? Now's the time to act a damn fool. It's so, I hope that I don't have to ever have that type of conversation with a woman. I hope that I could meet a woman that, you know what I'm saying, what's understood doesn't have to be said. You know what I'm saying? We're on the same page in regards to that. I don't make her look bad. I don't run around talk about, I love the way you licked my balls last night, making her look like a slut or look like a whore or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting, negative energy out there, putting dirt on her name, trying to, stroke my ego, make myself look good. She could be the nastiest bitch in the world. Ain't nobody gonna know that shit. You know how many fucking videos I have of chicks with fucking nut on their face and fucking just all type of just back shots. You know how many fucking pictures I have on my fucking, hard drives and shit like that of just chicks, sucking it, all that. But you ain't gonna see none of that shit on the internet. I ain't putting that shit out there. You know what I mean? You know how easy it would be for me to do that, but why do that? You know what I'm saying? We enjoyed each other. We had a good time. You know what I mean? There's no love lost. There's no hatred. None of that. It just didn't work out. We moved on. That's for my own, private collection. Rub one out to it every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm saying, I give them that courtesy. And I don't understand women that don't give their men that type of I don't understand it. And unfortunately, black women, y'all got a bad fucking habit of this type of shit. It's like, really, I mean, just can't be well, behaved. And I know it sounds so cringy saying that. What you mean a black woman needs to be well behaved? You know how that goes. But I'm saying this is why a lot of times a lot of dudes look at you like, yeah, black women, yeah, they fun to fuck. You know what I mean? But when it comes to wifey, when it comes to what I want to have on my arm, the woman that's going to make me look good, that doesn't try to position herself as the center of attention and the center of everything, you know what I mean? Don't get with an African-American sister. Don't do it. Don't do it because, it's or a woman that has, this sort of African-American culture, because, this is what you're going to run into. And I don't know why, I mean, if I have to have these type of conversations with a woman, you ain't the one. And for those that want to say, hey, some chicks don't know, the culture is what it is. You got to be patient with black women and take the time and talk to them and break shit down, which I think is futile and a waste of time. But I'm saying for those that think that that's the approach, okay, fine. I'm like, I don't know why y'all don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like again, I just see that as a fight argument. I see black women's take on that because this is what's popular. What's popular is everything that was said on Comedy Hype about you need to control your wife, and that sounds misogynistic and blah, 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 blah. Again, the black African-American community is so far away from patriarchy and patriarchal norms, it's not even funny. That's why when y'all sisters run around talking about y'all going over the fence and you getting with Brad and Chad and Grant Wellington III and all that shit that Samantha Cooker's talking, that's why we don't believe you. We don't believe you because of situations like this, because we know that you gonna fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like Ice Cube, when he told, Bill Maher, Bill Maher got chastised and criticized for saying the N-word, he was like, I knew you was going to fuck up. That's how I look at black women. I was like, I knew you was going to fuck up. Black men have way more experience over the fence than y'all. Okay? There's certain etiquette, there's certain do's and don'ts. You know what I'm saying? There's certain, the subtle bigotry of low expectations. You got to go put on your representative to counter that shit. You know what I mean? But I guess maybe Bill Burr's wife is just comfortable, I guess. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But god damn, man. It's like really, they love this man. Not Bill Burr, Donald Trump. They love this man. Okay? Donald Trump is not the one to fucking attack. Okay? We all know the man is a fucking losing tick. It's obvious. His personality flaws, narcissistic personality disorder. We get all that. We know this. Okay? But they love this man. And the country is polarized as fuck right now. Okay? If you want to have a debate or a discussion about why you don't like Donald Trump, and it's a political debate, and you got liberals on one side and conservatives on the other, that is the space and the time to do that. Okay? But when shit is going to be reduced to a screenshot or 30 seconds of a clip or less, and it's going to hit the internet, you got to understand the optics of that. You know what I mean? It's like being a part of the British royal family, and you got to recognize, the cameras are on you at all times. If you pick your nose, okay, and you're the son of King Charles, okay, the fucking tabloids are going to have a field day with that. Okay? If you do anything, you know what I mean? If you try to pull out a flask of whiskey and take a swig, everybody's looking at you. You can't do that. Not when you're in that type of position, having to represent a nation like that. You can't do that. You can't do that. So it's like I just don't. It's like, why would you do something like that? And it just takes me back. It takes me back to that Nigerian chick that literally was cursing out the people who were bringing our fucking food. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It was just crazy. And this service is just da 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 da, and blah blah blah, our money back, and da. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, first off, our money back, it isn't going to equate to us eating. And at the time, everything was fucking closed. You know what I'm saying? Like where we were, it was like the middle of bumblefuck. And so everything was fucking closed. And it's how, like, literally the entire South is. The entire South is like that. Shit just after like 8 o'clock, like everything is closed. Like even the fucking Burger King, or they got goofy ass hours. These like one horse sleepy towns and shit like that. I'm like, yo, we ain't gonna get our food. We're not gonna eat anything until tomorrow morning if we don't get this food right now. Fuck is wrong with you, man? But anyway, I'm just belaboring the point. I'm just saying, nah, this shit is fucked up. It's fucked up. And I'm not surprised. I hate to just label it against, like, generalize it against black women, but this shit is cultural. You all do this more than anybody else, this sort of bad behavior, and then you turn around and you're on the internet going, why are we not being chosen? Oh, this bitch is a pick-me. Oh, why we gotta change our behavior? No, the problem is the black patriarchy and these DBR black men and these degenerate black men and colorism and black men is this and that and blah 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 blah. And then y'all don't never look in the fucking mirror of the shit that y'all do. What do you think? We just like niggas just making shit up? How is it that we're making shit up, but yet we keep catching y'all on camera? We keep catching y'all on film. We keep catching y'all saying, just dumb things like shit like sisters running around talking about, I don't do coffee dates. There's just certain things that you don't say out loud. You don't say that shit out loud. Especially when you talk about going over the fence and whatnot. So y'all don't get it. And that shit's going to be that's going to be the death of y'all, like seriously, like the way that y'all struggle and the loneliness and everything else, because y'all don't want to play the game. You do not want to play the game. And you know me, when it comes to black men, I get on black men's ass about not playing the game. You know what I mean? But again, like you're the ones that have all these fucking, relationship problems, even over the fence. A lot of y'all can't even get over there because your reputation is horrendous. And you all have done everything in your power to facilitate the reputation that you have. You have created those reputations. You know what I mean? Nobody else, but y'all want to deny and act like everybody's lying on you. But then we keep being able to pull up all this sort of, this evidence, this video evidence, even when people, and I'm going to tell you the worst aspect of it is the fact that, like, shit like this happens even when people put you in the perfect situation, the very situations that y'all bitch about and say that you don't get because you're black or black men are dusty or because there's some racism against the black woman and the black woman is the most unprotected woman in the world. Even when a man puts you in that proper situation, you all seem to find some way to fuck it up. Again, going back to Ebony Williams, you know what I mean? Trying to tell the young lady, she said, look, the dudes that are in fucking, that have trips to France for 2 weeks, they don't want to hear, Ebony K. Williams got to be, in Florida for a lawyers convention. Ebony K. Williams got to go out to LA to do her show. And like I said, I'm like, oh, and she's like, I wouldn't tell a lie, Charlamagne. I know from experience. Fucking exactly. which is why the Dusty conversation is irrelevant. Because, again, if the man doesn't have any money, Ebony K. Williams is going to be in L.A. or she's going to be at the lawyers' conference. And if the man does have money and has a trip for 2 weeks in the south of France, she's still going to be in L.A. and at the lawyers' convention in Florida. You see, like there is no perfect scenario that any man can put you in where y'all going quote unquote act right. And this is the whole problem. This is why a lot of these talking points that y'all make, they're busy assignments. Because there's no like, again, you file the complaint, oh, it's because the community's broken and black men don't do this and do that. Okay, so if I do this, you're gonna fall in line, right? No, wrong. No, they're not gonna fall in line. They're still gonna do whatever it is the fuck they wanna do. I'm like, God damn, reminds me of the picture that Will Smith took they was trying to take a family photo with Willow and Jaden, and then here's Jada Pinkett, middle fingers up. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Is this what black women do, when they're with multi-millionaires? You know what I'm saying? This is why the Dusty arguments don't hold water. Because when you all are in the proper position, with men of means, you all fuck it up. The only woman that I have seen that fucked it up, was previously in the spotlight and literally just faded out of the spotlight is Eve. We ain't heard nothing from Eve. Eve is happy. She over there living life. What do y'all like to say? She's over there living her best life. That's what Eve is doing. We ain't heard shit from Eve. We ain't even seen so much as a fucking tweet. Nothing, unless you probably specifically follow her on social media. But black women, apparently they don't care about Eve. Because I ain't heard nothing about Eve. You ain't heard no scandals. You ain't heard shit. But all these other sisters out here, man, y'all know how to fuck up a good thing. Anyway, that's all I got to say. I mean, just damn. I mean, even Six to Goddess, when she made that point about she could have been on the south of France somewhere on a boat because she had that man that basically offered to wife her up and take care of her son. She ain't got to worry about nothing. All she got to do is play the role. And even she acknowledged, to her credit, she was like, I just couldn't leave well enough alone. That's out of her own mouth. I couldn't leave well enough alone. She wouldn't even have to be doing this YouTube shit. She'd be over there on a fucking yacht somewhere looking pretty, eating motherfucking grapes and shit. Being a bad bitch at 32 on a fucking boat in a bikini. With her son, having friends speaking French and Italian and shit. Oh, it's fucking nuts, man. Anyway, that's all I got to say. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.